Did you know a serial killer murdered dozens of people while the government insisted it was impossible? In 1982, Detective Viktor Burakov discovered something horrifying in the Rostov region of Soviet Russia. Bodies were appearing near train stations, brutally torn apart and violated. But in communist society, serial killers didn't exist. That was a capitalist problem. So authorities blamed mental patients and closed the cases. Burakov kept investigating anyway, finding pattern after pattern. The real killer was Andrei Chikatilo, a mild-mannered teacher who hunted at transportation hubs. For over a decade, he lured victims into forests and committed unspeakable acts. He would attack, mutilate, and sometimes consume parts of his victims. The state's denial gave him perfect cover to keep killing. By the time they finally arrested him in 1990, he confessed to 56 murders. Political ideology had enabled one of history's worst monsters. The horror wasn't just his crimes, but how the system refused to see them. Did you know an American woman was forced to betray her own country on the radio, then destroyed by it for surviving? Eva Taguri was visiting sick relatives in Japan when Pearl Harbor happened in December 1941. Suddenly, she was trapped as an enemy alien in a hostile nation. Japanese authorities pressured her daily to renounce her American citizenship, but she refused. With no money or food, she was eventually forced to work at Radio Tokyo to survive. They made her broadcast as Tokyo Rose, playing American music, followed by cruel taunts to Allied soldiers. She told troops their wives were cheating back home, described graphic battlefield deaths, promised resistance was hopeless. Every word was psychological torture, both for listeners and for her. After the war, America arrested her for treason despite evidence she was coerced and secretly helped prisoners. While male collaborators walked free, she became the scapegoat for wartime trauma. She got 10 years in federal prison. The country she refused to abandon ultimately abandoned her. Did you know a brilliant scientist's own wife killed herself to stop his war crimes? Fritz Haber was Germany's most celebrated chemist in 1915, convinced his innovations would end World War I quickly. His wife Clara was also a chemist, but she watched in horror as her husband developed something unthinkable: chlorine gas weapons. Haber became obsessed, promoted to oversee Germany's entire chemical weapons program. He felt pride when his gas attacks killed thousands of Allied soldiers in minutes. Clara begged him to stop, saying he was turning science into mass murder. But Haber only escalated, planning deadlier attacks. On May 2, 1915, Clara made a desperate choice. She took her husband's service pistol and walked into their garden. While Haber was away planning more gas attacks, she shot herself in the chest. She died alone, surrounded by the roses she loved. Her brilliant husband had become a monster, and she couldn't live with what he'd created. Science, corrupted into industrial killing, had destroyed their family from within. Did you know the US government once used black men as human lab rats for 40 years? In 1932, hundreds of poor sharecroppers in rural Alabama lined up excitedly for free medical care. Government doctors told them they had bad blood and needed treatment. What they really had was syphilis, but the men were never told. The doctors weren't there to cure them. They wanted to watch them die. For 4 decades, these men spread the disease to their wives and children while doctors took notes. Even when penicillin was discovered as a cure in the 1940s, treatment was deliberately withheld. The men went blind, lost their minds, and suffered heart failure. Their families were destroyed while researchers documented every horrific detail. Children were born with the disease. Wives died in agony, all so doctors could study how syphilis kills the human body. The Tuskegee study didn't end until 1972, when a whistleblower exposed the truth. 40 years of government-sanctioned torture disguised as healthcare. Did you know the US government once used prisoners as human test subjects for radiation experiments? During the 1940s and 50s, inmates at several federal prisons were told they were participating in medical research. They thought they were helping science advance. Instead, doctors exposed them to dangerous levels of radiation to study the effects on human tissue. At Oregon State Prison, over 130 inmates had their testicles irradiated to see how it affected fertility. They were paid small amounts and promised it was safe. Within days, many developed severe burns and sickness. At other facilities, prisoners were fed radioactive material disguised as medicine. Doctors carefully recorded every symptom as their subjects suffered. Hair fell out in clumps. Skin blistered and peeled away. Internal bleeding began as organs started failing. The prisoners trusted these medical professionals completely. They had no idea they were being slowly poisoned for government research. Many died never knowing the truth about what was done to them.